What's up, guys? My name is Eric. This is Teach Go High Level, and today we're diving into a big series on the site section of Go High Level. Now, there is a ton in here. Remember, this is first a general overview where I'm going to talk about what the different sections are. I'm not going to be showing you how to build a funnel. All right, I'm going to be showing you how to use Go High Level in that regard. So if you're looking for funnel building tips, there's a ton of other resources on YouTube. I suggest you check them out because there is a strategy to how to build a converting funnel. That's not what this is. I'm here to show you how you can actually start building them and the tools that are available for you to use in there. So with that, I'm going to dive right in. When you click on the sites section here on the left menu bar, there's a lot of options up at the top. We're going to start just working left to right. And the first one is funnels. Now, you may be going, is that a website? No, websites are separate. A funnel page is designed for you to get a lead and progressively squeeze them down to a buying decision. Typically, it's for one offer with an upsell or a downsell. There are some strategy things that you can do. All of that can be accomplished in here. So I want you to think about this as an alternative to something like ClickFunnels. Okay, this is not an alternative to WordPress. That would be websites, right? Where you have a page and it talks all about your company and about us, and SEO is generated there. So funnels are designed to get a lead into the top of the funnel and progressively press them down to a buying decision. Okay, so to build a funnel, we're going to start in the top right here and click New Funnel. Now, they have a couple of options for you. You can start from blank. So if you want to build it completely from scratch, they also have an AI that is now in beta that will help you build your funnel. And then the third is there is a ton of pre-built templates that you can use. So I'm going to show you all the things inside using from blank because all the tools are going to be the same with the templates and with the AI, but I want you to understand if you were to start from scratch, what are all the things that you can include on your funnel page? So the first thing that we're going to name this is, we're just going to call this the Teach Go High Level funnel. Now, funnels are broken down into steps. So if you imagine a funnel, all right, you're going to have layers to it. And those are all of your steps. So you'd have like an opt-in page, maybe a video sales letter, something there, and then the next page is maybe like an application or more information, or you could go straight to a checkout. There's a lot of different options that all goes down to funnel strategy, but I'm gonna show you how to build all of them. It's gonna create the funnel. The first thing to notice is that there's a couple of parts to the funnel, all right? The steps are gonna be displayed. We're gonna get into that next. Your stats, this is gonna show you how many people visited that step page, how many people opted in if you have an information capture or a checkout or anything like that. It's going to show you your sales and your earnings per page view. These are all important data metrics to follow to see where you need to optimize your funnel. Sales, it's going to show you all the different people that checked out on this funnel if you have a product to sell on there and a checkout page. Security, these are where you add security headers. If you don't know what that is, this is a little bit more advanced. There is a pretty good article from Go High Level that you can read all about security headers, okay? Next, we have events. So for those of you that are running Facebook ads, this is really important. This is where you can put in your pixel to send those events to your Facebook ads manager, right? You don't have to embed them on the funnel page. You can put them in here and it can send back those events to your Facebook pixel. And then last is the settings. So this is actually where we want to start, okay? So first, we have the name of the funnel as a whole, all right? And that's going to give us a URL to the top of the funnel, right? So it would be our domain /teach-ghl-funnel. If you have multiple domains, they would all show here and you could select which one you want to use. Now, if you have an icon URL or a favicon URL that you want to use for this, for where it shows up in their browser, you would put the URL for that icon here. The last few things are head tracking code, body tracking code. If you use any sort of third-party softwares or Google Analytics, this is where you put those in and it'll apply to the entire funnel, all the pages of the funnel, okay? If you're using the Go High Level chat widget, this is where you'd select if you want it on or which one you want to use. The last four are really important. If you're selling anything on a page, you have to make sure of a couple of things. One, when you're building, you probably want to put the funnel in test mode so you can test the checkout and the fulfillment and make sure that all works without having to run through actual transactions through your payment processor. So this is where you would select that. But once it's all checked out, make sure to go back and turn this live or you're not going to collect any revenue. That's not a good thing. Then if it's something that's $0, you could still require a credit card if you want to or not. It just depends on what you're selling. Image optimization. This is where the image that you put in, it can be optimized for browser speed. That's completely up to you, along with JavaScript if you load any Java into your page. And then for those of you that are selling in the European Union, that are based in the European Union, you're very familiar with GDPR. This is where you can enable GDPR compliant fonts for Google Fonts. When that's all done, we're gonna hit save. Remember my rule of thumb, if there's a save button, use it regularly. It will not auto save, and all that work that you just did will go away. So now that we've set up our settings, we're gonna create our first step. So we're gonna name this page the opt-in page, okay? And if you wanna give it a specific path, you can, all right? I'm gonna say opt-in. Remember, we have that first URL that starts at the top of the funnel. That's what you're typically gonna wanna use if you run ads or something like that to drop them in the funnel. But if you wanted to say, have a conversation with someone at a trade show and take them right to the checkout, you could give them the URL for the checkout page and they will skip by all the other pages. That's why this is in here. Now, here's a really cool feature with GoHighLevel. If you were previously on ClickFunnels and you wanted to move to a more comprehensive solution that has the CRM built in, if you've already built your funnel page, you can import it from ClickFunnels by putting the URL in here. Now, you will still have to go in, make sure everything's aligned properly, set up properly, test everything. It is not perfect 100%, but it does a really good job. I brought in a number of ClickFunnels page and it's really, really helpful instead of having to recreate everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and create the funnel step. Now, my personal way that I like to build a funnel is normally when I build a sales funnel, I actually will take a whiteboard or a pad of paper and draw out all the steps of what they're gonna do. So they're gonna opt in, then they're gonna go to a VSL or video sales letter where I have a video of myself selling something. And then maybe the next step is a checkout. I'm gonna put all my steps in first because that's just how my brain works. If you don't quite know, take the time to just draw it out manually first to save you some time. I'm gonna put in my next step, which would be a information page. Let's say I don't have a video in there. And then I'm gonna put /information, create. And then my last one will be checkout and then thank you. You want a thank you page after checkout, okay? We're gonna say this, call this one checkout /checkout. And then our last one is gonna be thank you page. Thank you. All right, now, I'm not gonna go through each one of these individually and teach you how to build a checkout page, how to build this, how to build that. I'm gonna go into one of these pages and show you all the features so you know what's available in there. So going with this first one, you get a couple of options, okay? First thing that you see here now is you have some options. So because we haven't set the domain in settings, nothing shows up here yet. When we have a domain applied, it will show you what the actual URL is for this one page. So again, like the example I gave, if you wanted to send someone directly to the checkout, you could click on the checkout page, you could grab that domain and you could send it to them, okay? Over here on the right, we have an overview of the builder. We have products, so this is really important for your checkout page. This is where you're gonna add the products that are available to purchase. You don't add them in the builder, you apply them here. And then publishing, this is where you can edit the name of the stage or the URL after you've already created it. Split testing. So split testing, A/B testing, this is a marketing term. This is where you could have two different opt-in pages and you can test which one converts better. So if you were running ads or traffic to the top of your funnel, and on this page you had certain colors and certain phrases, and on this one you had different colors and different phrases, you would be able to tell which one is doing better by the amount of people that are opting in or going to the next step. So A/B testing can be really a good way to understand what works, right? And it does it in real time. With a split test, you can wait between the two. I want to send more to this one, less to this one. I could split it 50-50 down the middle, whatever you'd like. Let's go into the page and show you all the things that you can do in there. All right. You can use an existing one that you already have, say in another funnel. Let's say you have a similar offer and you don't want to rebuild from scratch. You could use that. I'm going to create from blank. All right. The last quick thing to show you is after this page is built, you have some options. If you need to come back and edit something in here, you have two options. You can just go right in and edit it in the same window, or you could open it in a new tab. If you want to preview the page, you click this button right here. And then the last one is settings for the page. It's exactly the same as going to the publishing tab, right? Unless you were split testing. So let's hit create from blank. It's gonna take me in there. All right, perfect. So now we have our visual funnel builder, all right? And it breaks down all the components that are available to you here in the left-hand menu bar, all right? You have to start with creating the box that everything fits within. So I want you to think about it like this. First, you build the frame, then you build the sections of the frame, and then you put the toys or the widgets within the different frames, okay? This is how you build the layout. So the first thing you do is you add your section. Do I want full width, wide, medium, or small? This is across the whole page. I'm gonna select a full width. Okay. Then within that, you need to build a row within this section. So do you want a single column? So it's the whole width. So you're going to treat the whole thing as one. You can go down to 6 as well. So you could have perfectly spaced out 6 different widgets. So like a picture and then a button and then another picture and then a button, because this is how you're going to be able to lay things out in line with one another. You're not going to just drag it up there and line it up like you do in Canva or something else. It has to go within a row, okay? So section first, then row. For simplicity's sake, I'm gonna select a 2-row. Now we have the ability to add elements, and elements are all the fun things like where we put our text in, our buttons, our videos, all sorts of different things, all right? So just as an overview, they break it up into groupings, all right? And you can always search to find what you're looking for. And they also have here on the left, you can pull from section templates, a widget marketplace. There's so much available to you. There is pre-built sections that you can use as templates. There's buttons. There's social media icons you can pull from, countdown timers. Remember, we covered that in that video. We have one available. Images in our media vault and a progress bar, okay? These are all specialty items, but when we're talking about elements in general, they're broken down into text, so headlines, subheadlines, paragraphs, so like if I'm writing a whole bunch of copy, or bulleted list. For forms, we can have forms that we make. You'll see that in the forms video. You can pull them in here. There's buttons, so like a call to action button to go to the next step. If you have a blog, if this is like a blog page, you can pull in blog posts that you've already written, the different categories of blogs, social share, if you want people to be able to share it out. Media. In media, you can do an image carousel, you can put a video in there, you can put an image, an FAQ section that has the drop down button, so you could write the FAQ and they hit the button and it opens up the answer to it, or a photo gallery. Then lastly, we get into the lesser used widgets, all right, or elements. This is if you have custom code from a third-party software, a survey that you've already built, a calendar booking. So remember when we set up calendars, you can embed them in these pages. Maybe your funnel page is to drive someone to book a call with you. You can put in a map. So if you're a local business like brick and mortar or home service, you could put in a map with where your location is so they can see that. All right. Reviews and SVG are just images. Let's bring this back up here. Reviews will pull in from your reputation management software. Then we have our countdowns. So we have countdown timers, and then you could also use things to make it look like a more traditional website, such as a navigation menu, dividers, a progress bar. If there is an application or they're partway through the funnel, you can show them the progress that they've made, or an image feature. And then lastly, our order elements. So this is really key for our checkout page. You have 2-step order where they first put in their information, which is their opt-in information, name, email, phone number. Then it takes them to the next step of the order, which is where they select their product and actually pay. Or you can do a 1-step order where it's all in one element. And then you can also have order confirmation where it will pull in their order. That would be really good for the thank you page. So all these elements are available on any type of page and you can pull them in, all right? So again, this goes back to my suggestion that you actually draw out or write out how you want your page to look, or at least what elements you want to include. I want to have a headline, then I want to have images side by side, and then I want to have a bunch of copy or text, right? We call it copywriting. Then I want to have a button to go to the next step. Great, now you know how to lay this out. So I need single column row, I need a double column row, then I need this, and then I need that. And it just helps you move faster in your building. Remember, funnel building can be an absolute art, and there's people that make well over 6 figures a year doing this professionally. So this, again, is not to give you funnel strategy. This is just to show you how this works, okay? Now, to talk about some of the other elements along the top here that are useful to you is first you have your layers, all right? So this is where you can see I have this, and then I have this section, and then I have this section if you're more analytical, right? You have the different pages that are available in your funnel. So you could switch to your information page, your checkout page, your thank you. You could do that. If you have specialty tracking code from third-party softwares, you can put that in here. Remember, settings section, we had a header and a body. That's for the whole funnel. But if you wanted specific tracking for just this one page, this is where you're gonna put this in. Then we have custom CSS. If you're not getting the exact thing that you want visually out of the funnel builder, you could add in custom CSS right here to be able to do that. The last is the typography. So you may have a brand guide that you built or a specific font that you wanna use for all of your stuff. This is where you're gonna select the font for, in general, by default, when you throw in a text box, what is it gonna default to? You will always have the option here over in the right-hand side, which we're gonna cover in the next video, of being able to change that font for just that one section. You do have that option, but this is what it is by default. So this is the first half of the funnel builder section. There's a lot in here, so we're gonna finish this in a second video so you can digest all this. And in part 2, we're gonna finish out going over all the different things in the funnel builder and how you can deploy this, save this, focus on SEO, all sorts of different things. So I'll see you in the next video.